Does your Net Promoter Score from your candidate experience survey have you concerned? Take a listen to the next couple of minutes of my interview with Jose Carbia from Change Healthcare, as he has some great recommendations for how to make an impact. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mark Walker. I'm the head of member services at I4CP, and we do a weekly call with TA leaders to really get a sense of how are they moving forward, not only addressing the pandemic, but how are they dealing with the plans for tomorrow. Jose was a great guest and really dove into not only giving us a perspective on Change Healthcare as an organization that 3 years ago was a spinoff, has went through an IPO, and is now about 15,000 employees overall, with on average almost 4,000 hires annually. This year's a little bit down, but it's given them the ability to really dive in and think differently about how are they adding technology, AI, healthcare talent into their organization so they can serve a variety of customers, not only in North America, but they're continuing to grow globally. Great organization as they started to think. Jose joined about 9 months ago, and as he was brought in to really think differently about their talent acquisition journey, especially as they think about that critical talent, how could they think about going from good to great in improving their talent base? And what he shared with us was, first, their Net Promoter Score when he joined was in the negatives. They've now pushed it to just bordering 50 on the positive side and are loving the way that they have made remedies. Ultimately, one of the first things he called out was ghosting was an issue with candidates that they needed to fix. And that communication alone has had a huge impact overall. What Jose also shared with us was then how they looked at, from the leader perspective, what was their experience today? What are some of the critical points of the market at large around talent acquisition to really get into a 90-day plan as well as a 2-year roadmap? And then they were using this tool from an infographic standpoint to really explain not only internally and keep them on track in TA, but to the organization at large as to where they're going. What I love about their TA 90-day plan was simply that it had some core processes. And one of the things that he called out was on the branding side, he realized that they were investing more on sourcing from organizations like Indeed from a budget perspective than really on the brand attraction standpoint. And it's really having a different impact as they think about their ability to attract and compete with organizations that have a digital strategy. They're also diving in very significantly on data and analytics to drive KPIs, not only around Net Promoter Score, but to really get into some of the diversity and hiring manager statistics that are going to be crucial to their success as they continue to grow. They talked about process in terms of the experience that the talent is going throughout the sourcing, through selection process, as well as even into the onboarding and how they're partnering with learning to improve that overall. What I also loved is that Jose was very transparent in terms of the reality of where they are at. Having a negative Net Promoter Score takes some guts to talk about. And ultimately, he, I think, created an atmosphere to help move things forward in a growth mindset. A couple other things that I think were worthy of calling out. Number one, they have been thinking differently about how do they connect with hiring managers across their various units across North America and across the globe. And one of those was a hiring manager corner where they created a series of videos to create some comfort, consistency, and just overall outcomes that are going to improve their ability to select talent. They also built a similar set of videos around the candidate experience. And I tell you, go check it out at Change Healthcare or check out Jose Carbia's LinkedIn site. He has that as one of these prominent things, and it is something that you can use and share with others. The other piece that I would talk about is that he shared how they have impacted their talent acquisition group through their Veterans of Change BRG. The headline for me was they're bringing in veterans from that BRG to educate his recruiting staff simply on how to think differently about evaluating a resume from a military perspective. What does it really mean? I love that because I don't think all of us have those same eyes. As I leave you, there's two key things that I'd call out. One, we've got research that just was all hot off the presses on August 5th in the morning, specifically around how are organizations thinking about return to work or employees working from home with school-age children. It's on a ton of people's minds, and we've got some great data to share, as well as a ton of anecdotal information that we're working through right now and expect to report next week. The other piece that I'd encourage you to do is to go to our site on the Employer Resource Center and participate in our health and well-being study. We've got some great questions that we're asking. We're partnering with World at Work to dive into what are the well-being benefits of the future. We really want to dive into these health plans and insights to help you construct your strategy for 2021. With that, I appreciate your time and attention. I hope you dive into the rest of Jose's interview. He's got some additional great detail, and I look forward to your questions throughout the week. We'll be talking again soon. Be well.